All right, the backswing. The goal of the backswing is to set yourself up for a good downswing. Now we've already gone over a couple things. We've gone over the grip, we've gone over the stance, but we have to revisit the stance because the stance will determine a lot about what our backswing can do. So the main thing I said in our stance was that our shoulders needed to be in the correct position, right? So a lot of us stand up here and our shoulders are this way. Well, that immediately affects the backswing. I go way across my target line, or I then yank it way inside with a certain move. So provided our stance is good and our shoulders are good, that will allow us to make a proper backswing. And just like in pitching, you're winding up to create that power to go forward. So we really want to feel pressure on the inner thigh and on this right foot, on the inside middle part of the right foot. We don't want it on the outside right side, or outside of the right foot, sorry. We don't want to get our weight out here, because then we're just doing a weight shift instead of keeping the weight in the center, but creating that pressure in our feet that we talked about in the footwork video. So what we're looking to do here is we want to wind up and create as much tension as we can. We want to turn our shoulders as far back as we can, okay? This will be, limited to how much flexibility you have and how many injuries and things like that. We want to get our shoulders as far back as we can. We also want to get our hips to move. And a lot of times, if you look at any of those long drive guys, or any guys that hit it really far, this right hip, they get really deep into this right hip, okay? They create this right hip down in here, which creates a lot of tension, a lot of pressure in this knee. If you just move your weight to the right, which most of us do, we oftentimes straighten this right leg, okay? The right leg just goes straight on us. We want to keep that right knee bent so that it creates that pressure and that tension that allows us to go forward. Now, there's 100 different ways to get to the top to set you up for success. There's one key thing that I'd like to show you here, and that is that most of your consistent ball strikers, whether they're on tour or wherever they are, maybe your local guy, they're going to have the club head outside of their hands at about the 9 o'clock position. Most of us get in here and we rip that club head to the inside, okay? Well, this creates a lot of problems and a lot of makeup moves to get this club square and impact. One of the things you can work on here, take two balls as you're setting up, we're hitting this way, put your club in between, and then just push this ball straight back. See how that keeps the club head outside of my hands? And that's what you're looking for, okay? These first few moments are very critical. If we break down here and rip that to the inside, now we've created a whole mess of problems that we have to make up for on the downswing. But if we can keep that club head going straight back as long as possible, keep it outside of our hands, it's going to set us up for success on the way down. Now the goal of the backswing should be to get the club to the best position possible for you. For me, it's a little bit flatter than most, okay? But we want this club up here, and we don't want the club pointing across our target line. This creates another makeup move that we've got to get going. There's a few good athletes that can really do that. The A-swing kind of teaches some of that right now, where you can get in here and then you just bring it down by turning your body. You just don't see too many really good, excellent players that are really consistent using that move. Now, if that move works for you, that's great. David Ledbetter's teaching that. So that could be an option for you, but I would suggest that you try to keep your hands outside of the club head outside of your hands on the way back, and just get the club up here so that from here you can create that downswing movement. But on the backswing, watch your pressure in your feet, make sure you're loading up to that inner part of your thigh and getting the club up to the top as best you can to set yourselves up for success on the downswing.